Hey, maybe we're working this time. I don't know. This is about the third time I've tried it, so I don't know if Facebook is having issues or if our internet is having issues. But anyway, we are going to talk about Adaptiv oil today. Some of you might have Adaptiv already. If you do, go grab your bottle because that's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to get a little bit. So this is a 15 milliliter bottle, and you can get it two ways. You can get it like this, 15 milliliters, $50 retail, $37.50 wholesale, or you can get 10 milliliter roller bottle, which is exactly the same as this, except it's got fractionated coconut oil in it for easy, topical, ready-to-use. So the Adaptiv blend. Hi, Mom. Thank you for joining me. This is to be used aromatically and topically. If you want to use internal, you need to get the Adaptiv capsules because this blend is not for internal use and it is different from the capsules. So let's talk a little bit about what's in this Adaptiv blend. It is the oils of orange, lavender, copaiba, spearmint, neroli, and sweet gum. And the one that I'm going to spend the great majority of my time on is sweet gum because that's an oil that we can't get as a single yet. And so I wanted to learn about that one. I have videos out for all those other oils, and you can just put it in the search bar at the top of the page and it should pull up the video. If it doesn't, you can go to my YouTube channel and search for it that way. So sweet gum is a pretty awesome oil. It has a spicy aroma and it's used to relieve stress and anxiety, allowing one to fall asleep more easily. The reason being is that it is an anticonvulsant. It's also antihypertensive, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, antiviral, and antibacterial. And I have been using the Adaptiv capsules since I got them and diffusing this when I remember. So there have been a few nights that I have forgotten. But one thing I have noticed, the capsules help me get a better night's sleep. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the testing results, which show why that is. This, I'm noticing some significant behavior changes with our pets. We have a German Shepherd dog that is very energetic and high-strung, and this helps her to be more calm. And one of our cats has issues with excessive grooming and not eating enough because of the excessive grooming, and this blend is helping her to eat more. So that's two great things. On the plus side, it smells good by itself. It also doesn't smell too bad if you put a couple of drops of On Guard in with it, which I've been doing because it's the time of year when we need to be diffusing On Guard all the time. So let me talk about the testing that doTERRA has done with this, because they've done a lot of testing before they released this to us. So for the aromatic blend, they had several firsts. They wanted to test because this is being counted as an aid to help our bodies in dealing with stress. So they wanted to create a stressful situation, put people into that, and test how they did with it. So this is what they came up with. They had a large number of staff members that they used for this first test. They also had younger participants, as young as 12. And they were told that they had to take some assessment tests in order to qualify, and they were going to be part of a product testing panel. That's what they were told. And they were told that they were that they were looking for certain characteristics. They wanted to see if the Adaptiv oil would help them feel less stressed out. So this is how they did the test. They randomized it to 2 rooms, and they had diffusers going in both rooms. One diffuser had Adaptiv oil going in it. The diffuser in the other room had just plain water going in it. They did not draw attention to the diffusers, and so they were tested in both rooms, and then they compared the results. So the test that they were given was a math test, and it was 15 word problems of increasing difficulty. So the closer you get to the end, the harder the test gets. And it was timed for 12 minutes. 15 problems, 12 minutes. Increasing difficulty. In addition, they had scientists walking around in the room with their white lab coats on and their clipboards taking notes. They also had a countdown of the time projected on the front room so that you could see the time ticking down. And they wanted to see if Adaptiv would help when you're in a stressful situation like that. So each participant wore a pulse oximeter on their finger, and they also had temperature strips across their foreheads. And they completed a survey afterwards reflecting on how much stress they felt. They analyzed the data, and it was very interesting to them because the Adaptiv had a significant impact on stress levels that people felt as compared to the room where it was just water diffusing. But the surprise for them was that in some cases, people scored higher on the math test in the room with the Adaptiv essential oil, and their heart rate was at a lower level with the Adaptiv essential oil. So that shows that their body wasn't reacting to the stress as much since their heart rates were lower. There was a small subset of people that did both tests who had already begun taking the Adaptiv capsules, and their stress levels were even lower. So that's all good news. Then they did a smell test with the Adaptiv oil, and they wanted an evaluation of the aroma and how it felt with inhaling the oil, but the participants were blinded as to which one was Adaptiv. So they didn't have labels on them. There was more than one essential oil blend, and they weren't given the names of any of them. So they were supposed to smell an aroma and then rate how much they liked it and how it made them feel. The aroma feedback on Adaptiv, the bottle that had Adaptiv in it, was very high, between 8 and 9. And the aroma memory itself proved very powerful because some of the test takers, when they smelled it, they asked if that was the blend that was diffusing when they were taking the test. If you're dealing with some diseases, the aroma memory can make all the difference in the world to your brain because you can smell that and it's a trigger for the calming process to happen. So that was very important. So they were asked to describe how they felt while smelling blends, and they weren't told what it was or what even the name was, but the words that were reported back to them were meditative, calm, happy, relaxed, energized, positive, and refreshed. So that points to there being great potential, and testing is going to continue on this product. Now, synergistically, we've talked about synergy before with oils. They have discovered that this blend is very powerful synergistically because Roseman Institute, you've heard me talk about Roseman before. Roseman actually did molecular testing with the capsules, and they had brain cells in vitro that they were studying, and they wanted to find out how it interacted with cellular proteins, because that's how the pathways work in the brain and the chemical triggers and everything. So what they discovered was that each of the ingredients they tested separately, and then they had tested the whole compound together, and the whole is more than the sum of the parts. So the Adaptiv capsule, the oil blend that is in there, works better than the single oils that make up the blend. That I thought was really, really cool. Now, one thing that they found that was particularly interesting to me was they took some of the brain cells and they put in a petri dish, and they had the diluted essential oil blend in there, and they left those brain cells in there exposed to that oil for a full 24 hours. And what they found out is that F-actin, which is a protein building block that helps our neurons function properly, function adaptively, that off the charts for that. So it helps with keeping our neurons flexible and plastic and able to react and then bounce back. And that's what we need. So then they took it and tested it in real life. They had participants all the way across the country, nearly 80 people. They allowed young participants as well. And they did a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled study. And so people didn't know if they were taking the real thing or the placebo, and only one of the doTERRA researchers knew who was taking the real product and who was taking placebo. And after 4 weeks, they looked at the results and found that the average rating, because the people rated themselves on their stress level, from 0 being no stress to 24 being maximum. And the average return at the end of 4 weeks was that their stress level was reduced to a 3. They also found that the benefit of the capsules, they hit when you start taking them, takes about a week, and after that, it's sustained action. So all really, really, really good results. And I am very, very, very highly impressed with this new product that we have. The system is amazing. The capsules for internal use, the oil for aromatic and topical use. If you don't have some, get some. See y'all next week. Bye-bye. Yeah, let's stop already.